up? Welcome into your Daily Buckeye Blitz for a Monday. Let's get the week started right. It's Turkey Week. It's Beat Michigan Week. All the weeks rolled into one. It is one of the greatest weeks of the year. Suspense is building already. I can't wait. This is going to go by so slow this week. It always does. From Thursday to Saturday is like an eternity. It's like 48 hours. It's insane. Anyway, today we're wrapping up the Minnesota game from the offensive point of view. We're going to go through the offensive stats and grades. Kyle, the running game, Trey, receivers, blocking grades. Again, inconsistent there as well, but let's get into it. So don't forget, hit the buckeyecast.com. Get your Buckeye gear. Everything's still on sale. Check it out. So let's get into it. Total yards by the offense, 434 yards, 219 passing, 215 rushing, almost a 50-50 split there. 5 penalties, though. We did have 10 of 16 on third down, so that's better than last week. Yards per play, 6.5, and yards per completion, 10 yards, right on the button, and then a 6.1 average yards per rush. Now, no turnovers. It's always good. And Kyle was right in line with his season averages, slightly under in yardage, but his completion percentage, 67%, is just over his 65% average. 2 touchdowns is his average per week. So not a lot to complain about with Kyle, honestly. They took away Marv deep. They were running a two high safeties, and one safety on Marv's side of the field would just sprint towards Marv, taking away the deep routes on Marv's side. So if you go back and watch the game again, you'll see that. So in the second half, we leaned heavily on the run game. Obviously, the big 75-yarder from Trey coming out of halftime really helps. But tough field position in the first half, kept the score down for the Buckeyes, but then second half kind of opened things up. Kyle, 8.9 yards per attempt on average. It was down to 7. He didn't have those big pass plays, because the Minnesota defense was taking away Marv. And you can't force it in there. You don't want him forcing it in there into double coverage. That's not what he's supposed to do, and that's not what Ryan Day wants, that's for sure. So anyways, running game, more of the highlight of the day, I would say. Trey with a huge day, 15 carries, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns, had the 75-yarder, which gives him a nice 9.7-yard average. Let's see, he had just one rush for -2 yards. All the rest, he goes 15, 4, 7, 9 for a touchdown, 3, 4, 3, 2, 4, 4. -2 was the only negative. 3, 3, 12, and 75, and your day is done, sir. So excellent day for Trey. Then you also got Dallin Hayden in there, using only his 3rd game of the year. Don't forget, postseason does not count towards the red shirt. So Dallin goes in, 8 carries, 34 yards. Very nice with a 15-yard long. Chipper was in early, 4 carries, 25 yards, had a nice 11-yarder. Holes were opening up. I have no complaints about the rushing offense from an offensive line point of view. Evan Pryor even got in. That was good to see. He's just looks like he's just a shoelace away from breaking some of these, maybe he's still getting that strength and game strength back. So he did have 6 carries for 15 yards. Receiving, we'll come back to the rushing. Actually, I got rushing stats here for you. I wanted to focus on forced missed tackles because that's a key stat for me. Everybody had one. Dallin had 3 forced missed tackles. Chip, 2. TreVeyon, 2. Even Evan Pryor had 1. That's huge, especially for the young guy, Evan Pryor. with limited snaps this year. And then yards after contact, obviously Trey goes off. He had 111 yards after contact. Dallin 24, Chip with 23, Pryor with 14. So that's what you want to see when guys aren't going down with the first tackler. They're hitting him and either dragging him or breaking that tackle, you know. Trey, he had 3 carries of 10 plus yards, 2 of more than 15. He had 90 yards breakaway. And again, the forced missed tackles are huge. Pass pro, Trey was, hold up. Oh, yeah, he was 78.1. That is the Trey we need. Keep it up around the 70s. That's what a running back should be doing. And Chip was a 71.8. Those are the only pass blocking downs for the running backs. And Trey also had 2 catches for 26 yards. So all in all, a great day for the running game. And Trey, I wanted to touch on some of his grades and his forced missed tackles, things like that on the season. He's really, again, since he came back from the Notre Dame game, in that Wisconsin game, 6 forced missed tackles. Rutgers, 6 forced missed tackles. Michigan State last week, 5 forced missed tackles. And this week, only 2. I think it's because he jocked everybody. Nobody could get a fucking fingernail on him. He was just moving people, moving around people, I should say. But again, the 3 carries for over 10 yards are huge. That's his 3rd best day of the season. And he's doing really well in they're running him a lot in the zone schemes. So he had 9 carries in zone, 6 in gap. So he's doing it in both areas, both alignments. So we need this Trey for the Michigan game. This is the guy. He is peaking at the peak of his powers. Get him healthy, keep him healthy, and let's see a 100% Trey against the team up north. That's what I want to see. I don't think that's asking too much, is it? But all right, let's move on to the O-line. We'll go to receivers first. Let's go targets. Emeka with 8 targets, 5 catches, 83 yards, no touchdowns. Marv, 6 targets, just 3 catches, and 30 yards and the touchdown. Cade, 5 targets, 4 catches, 26 yards and a touchdown. Fleming, 3 targets, 2 catches, 10 yards. Trey, 2 for 2 for 26. X-Man, 2 for 2 for 22. Joe Royer got in the act with Lincoln Keenholz at quarterback. Got 1 for 5 yards. Pryor had a short one. Gerd, Tate got in the action. So, yeah, not a huge prolific passing day. You know, like I said, Kyle went for 212 through the air. So, not a lot of big plays were there to be had. They were taking away the deep shots, but Kyle did finish his last drive with 7 completions in a row. So during the game, he had sporadic 3 completions in a row, a couple times at 4. So all in all, excellent showing there. And it's good to see Emeka look like he's almost back to 100%. He looked pretty fast out there. So let's talk O-line grades here on the way out the door. Josh Simmons might have been his best game, 86.4. I don't think he's graded up in the 80s all season at pass blocking. Let's check him. Let's go into him. Let's dig in a little deeper and see what's really going on here. Hinsman is still a big problem. But so let's start with Josh Simmons, left tackle. Yeah, this was his best game by far. He graded out 74 in run blocking. That's by far his best day. And then an 86.4 pass blocking. He had 2 other weeks of 89 and 86, but those were against Youngstown State and Western Kentucky, so I'm not going to count those. So this was his best game against a Power 5 opponent. 0 sacks, 0 pressures, Good job. Let's stay on this high note and continue peaking right now. Donovan Jackson, he graded out 85 pass blocking as well. Excellent day from the left side of the line. But run blocking, just a 60.7. Did not allow any pressures or sacks, so that's always good. And that is his best game against a Power 5 opponent. Oh, Rutgers, he was at 86. So Rutgers and Minnesota were his best days. Pass blocking, run blocking, he's got to continue to improve there, and we need consistency. So let's go to, where's Hinsman? Hold up, there he is. I see you, Hinsman, trying to hide. Yeah, all right. Again, inconsistent. Better than last week, but last week he was a fucking 17 pass blocking. So 51 pass blocking this week, 62 run blocking this week. I guess we're going to have to be satisfied with that. His first week against Indiana was his best. He had a 69 both run blocking and pass blocking. Nice. But since then, it's been all downhill, really. And the last month, he's really regressed since the Penn State game. Really bad, like under 60, under 40 in some cases. So, and he's guaranteed to snap one off of his ass and dribble it back to Kyle every week. That's a guarantee. So frustrating. Matt Jones, pass blocking, again, 84.2. The pass blocking was there, except for Josh Fryer. But then run blocking, 54.7. That was one of his best games as a pass blocker since Penn State. Matthew Jones has been solid against the pass rush all season. The run blocking has been inconsistent. 54. This is one of his worst games. Josh Fryer, we mentioned, allowed the sack. He's good for about one pressure per week, at least. He has 11 on the season. So 11 games, 11 pressures. You're guaranteed to get one from Fryer. Nearly got Kyle's leg broken in the process this week. Thank God. That's got to hurt, man. I hope Kyle can move somewhat next week. Pass blocking, Fryer still got a 71 even with the sack. Run blocking a 65.5, so mediocre there. One of his better, actually kind of his shittier run blocking weeks. He's usually in the 70s, high 60s, but got to continue to improve, man. We got to get better. Got to get better. So that ought to do it. All right. Tomorrow we'll finish up on the defense, and then it's Michigan week from here forward. We're going to have all the press conferences and everything. The schedule is going to be a little different with Thanksgiving on Thursday, so you're going to get some interviews and press conferences a little bit different timing. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you're subscribed here, and you'll get it all, baby. All right. Talk to you later. Go Bucks.